Back to the Thelema Championship. We're back with Jordan from last week. He got top 8 once again, you know, same thing, you know, so close but not. He's playing a different deck, same but kind of different, so we're excited for that. And yeah, what were your matchups like today, and any shows you want to give?
So in terms of matchups, I played a little bit of everything. In terms of meta-wise, I only played 1 Tear and 1 Spright. Everything else was pretty much rogue. Other than that, I'll give shout-outs to my brother, shout-outs to P.U.N.K, who also topped, got his first top, and shout-out to my girlfriend, and shout-out to the team and the boys, East Coast Games. And so I'm playing a very interesting deck today. Spright, Tearlaments, P.U.N.K. So I'll get right into it. So we start with 3 Gamma and 1 Driver. Arguably one of the best hand traps right now. I know that a lot of people have a love-hate relationship with this card, as do I. But where it's a level 2, it can help with the Spright plays. You can bring it back off Elf. It's E-Telly target. People play into this to get extremely punished because I can go into Chaos Ruler, which can set up a lot of my combos. So this is pretty straightforward. Then 1 Flag. So this is my target for help. It's a level 2, it's a tuner, so it helps you go into P.U.N.K with the Chaos Ruler. Helps you for your Spright plays. It comes back. It's not once per turn, so if you use it for like Gigantic, you can keep doing extension plays after that by just putting more cards back on the top of the deck. So I find this was a little better than the Shinobi Necro people are playing. Then the P.U.N.K engine is very small. I just played 1, 1, and 1. I mainly just didn't really want to draw these. I just want to hit them off E-Telly. Drawing Almond's not bad, but honestly, you could bump the Almonds up if you wanted to see it more, but this was fine. I only dead drew Deer Note once, and the rest were good. Then for the Sprites, so I only play 1 of each. So I play 1 red, 1 carrot, 1 blue, 1 jet. These are the obvious best ones. You can sometimes end on these by getting a starter and flipping starter on their turn. This engine's crazy because these are dark. You can hit them off Chaos Ruler. This engine was insane. Then we're going to play the Frogs as well. So we play 3 swap, 1 Ronin. We don't play Duke because Duke's a brick. If you're playing pure Spright, even then, like, Duke can come up sometimes, but it's a super poly bait. And you side it out a lot anyway, so I don't think Dupe is really worth it right now, in my opinion. But this was crazy, being able to make Toad, extension play, Rhino Hearts of water, so you can ditch extra Rhino Hearts for swap fog. And yeah, you can do a lot of combos with this engine as well. Now for the Tearlaments. So I max out on these because these cards are crazy. 3 Havness, 3 Sheeran, 3 Merly, and 3 Rhino Heart. So you want to see these as much as possible. Of course, you want to, you know, get your tier plays going. So the cool thing about this deck, where it's like, if DD Crow is so popular right now, D-Barrier is so popular right now, it makes people have awkward interactions with you. So like, if you DD Crow my tier engine, I have the Spright engine, I have the P.U.N.K engine, and if you D-Barrier me from Fusion, I can go into Xyz and Lynx. I can play around Nibiru as well because of the Spright engine, because it's gigantic. There's a lot of bonuses to playing both engines. This card being a level 2 is absolutely insane. Being able to bring this back off Spright Elf during your opponent's turn to mill free and potentially go into more fusion plays is crazy too. This is a water to be had back off Toad as well, which is really nice. So there's a lot of options you can do here. And that's it for the monster lineup. No hand traps because, like I said, you want to get as much value out of your engines as possible, and sometimes hand traps can just be a little bricky. But so I play 1 Rhoda because this is the 4th Rhino Heart. This is arguably cuttable. I mean, I'm playing 49 cards, so like it could be cut. 1 called by. Called by, card should be banned, but it's also, since it's 1 of in 49 card deck, you don't see it that often, so this can also arguably be cut, but it's still crazy. Those, and then 3 of the Field Spell, 1 Terraforming, one of the best cards in the deck, more tier cards. 3 Spright starter. Who loves more E-Tellys?
Cards cracked.
Yeah, card's really good. Then 3 E-Telly, get you to your P.U.N.K engine. If you don't go that route, you have the Gammas like I said earlier. This is just a crazy card. Instant Fusion. This card speaks for itself, gets you to your kit, gets you to your tier combos. Then for Void Breakers instead of hand traps, so 3 Dark Ruler to more, 3 Super Poly. Super Poly was insane today. Dark Ruler is also still really good to hit the Spright boards and any problematic monsters. Being able to Super Poly against the tier matchups, where they go like the double Drago Stapelli, you can bait out one and then hit the other ones as well. So this card's really good. And I'll show my targets in the extra deck after for those. And then the 2 traps, Solid and Meta Noise. This card is insane. So a lot of my end boards, where if you get Dark Ruler or whatever, you usually have this, which just basically says you still play. And the same thing like with Starter, like that's the thing too, is like Dark Ruler is so prominent, but like if you have either of these set, you can technically still play through the Dark Ruler. So it's actually not that bad. But yeah, these traps are really good. Then for the extra deck. So I have summoned every single card in this extra deck today. Everything seems necessary. The only thing I wish I could fit in was an access code, but I'll show you what else I played instead. So 1 Elf, one of the best cards in the extra deck. This card's pretty much self-explanatory right now. 1 IP. You make this pretty often to go into Appaloosa or Unicorn on your opponent's turn. Dark Charmer. So this card's insane in both the Tier Element and the Spright matchup because it triggers both your engines, and it's a link to the link line. Hulk for the P.U.N.K engine, also has plays with the Spright engine. Unicorn and Appaloosa. These are both really good. Then for the fusions, we have the 1 kit. So a lot of people are playing 2, but in this version, you just recycle this back so much. Like I never had the second one come up. 1 Kaleido Heart. This card's really nice to get rid of a lot of problems. 1 Drago Stapelli. Same thing as kit. You can put it back and then summon it again later. So if you're smart with your resources, you don't need more copies, at least in this version of the deck. Then 1 Mud Dragon and 1 Garura. These are your Super Poly targets, but you can also make them. I only made Mud Dragon twice and Garura once, and they were with my own tier effects. They weren't even me Super Polying my opponent, so... I don't know if like these might be the flexible spots, but at the same time, it's hard.
Super Poly is just so good, right?
Yeah, like, exactly. So, and then Chaos Ruler Drun. This comes up with the P.U.N.K engine. I actually made this with Plague and 3 Spright monsters, which is pretty funny. Yeah, and then was able to go into Brun and OTK that turn. And then 1 Gigantic, 1 Toad. Toad for the frogs. Gigantic can, set up your whole Spright engine. You can get to Merly, you can get to Toad, you can get to whatever with this. So that's it for the extra. So like I said, I'd want to fit access code in here somehow, but I really don't know what I'd really cut. But besides that, there's nothing else I really missed. For the side deck, 2 Lava Golem. These are my 14th and 15th card. These could be a lot of different things. They were TTT last night. I swapped them just this morning because there's a lot of Spright here today, so like hitting Spright is nice. But in this version of the deck, your normal summon's a bit more important, so this didn't really come up as much. So this could probably be swapped out for other cards. 3 Mystic Mine.
No!
Yeah, ban this card. I mean, I play Terraforming so I can search it. It helps you, bait out stuff. It's mine. This card has to go. It's too good.
Should never been made.
And then 1 Feather Duster for the back row matchups. Then I played 3 Galaxy Cyclone. 3 was probably incorrect. 1 to 2 was fine, but I wanted to make sure that my random back row matchups like Eldritch and such were covered, so like milling multiples of these wouldn't be that bad to hit certain floodgates, but in hindsight you could probably swap like these 3 for something else. I could also main deck one of these because there is a lot of Mystic Mine as well, but it wasn't too bad. And then one of the best cards in the side deck, Deck Divi. This hits Spright. It hits Mech. My version of the deck also doesn't lose to this card, which is another benefit. Like I said, the main theory behind this deck was everything that's super popular right now, the deck doesn't automatically lose to it. Does not automatically lose to Deck Devi, does not automatically lose to Dark Ruler No More, does not automatically lose to D-Barrier, DD Crow, all that kind of stuff, right? So I think it was a good meta call. And then 3 Judgment, another card going first just to stop a lot of the problems. And yeah, that's pretty self-explanatory.
Anything you would change? An engine you'd drop? An engine you'd add?
Like I said, it's 49 cards, so I'd try to cut maybe a couple things, but it's really tough because everything felt necessary and everything worked really well. I only really had like 2 hands that were like very meh. One hand I had like Ronin Totem, Meta Noise, Galaxy Cyclone, so I couldn't really do anything with those 3 cards. But other than that, like these hands were super consistent. If you open like E-Tele, Spright Engine, and a tier card, yeah, you're going full board. Like you can end on, what I did a lot today actually was like if I have the absolute nuts, you would have like this, Appaloosa, Elf. I did this board like 3 or 4 times, and then if you have starter as well, you can get like red or carrot to protect this board as well. And this board doesn't automatically lose the super poly as well, if you'll notice. So it was really fun. The deck was really fun, really strong. Yeah, other than that, I don't think there's any other changes other than already mentioned. And yeah, I got another top 8. Sadly lost in top 8, but
You'll get them next time.
yeah, the deck worked really well.
Well, congratulations, and we'll see you again.
Thanks, man.